Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to I Am the Universe podcast with Martin Cowart. I'm so excited today to welcome my business partner, one of my business partners, and the Chief Spiritual Officer of Financial Heart Space and the Chief Spiritual Officer of our new nonprofit, the Diamond Mine Academy. It's a collaboration we've put together to teach marginalized Africans the basic skills they need to get jobs on the internet. And Khaled is our Chief Spiritual Officer, and he is this brilliant young uh, uh, Sufi mystic and teacher that I met in the Kankama refugee camp. And he's like a diamond. I breathed a little life into that ember, and all of a sudden he just came alive. And you're going to see exactly what I'm talking about when you meet and you have a chance to talk with him. So I'm going to introduce him in just one second. But what I do every week, as you know, is I have an influencer that influenced my life and got me to where we are. And frequently I will ask my guests to tell me, who would you like to make as our influencer today? And he is very interested in speaking with Oprah Winfrey. And he's very influenced by her and the work she's done, especially the work she's done in Africa for people, marginalized people in Africa, particularly I think kids and orphans and stuff like that. So he has a he wanted to dedicate this show to an influencer that's influenced his life and certainly influenced mine. I think she was actually the influencer we put on for the first show. So we've both agreed that Oprah Winfrey today will be the influencer that we're grateful for what she's doing for ourselves and the world to make it a little bit better. So Holly, thank you again for joining me today. We work together every day, and I love you so much, brother. I love what you're doing, and I love your message. Please introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit why you want to why you decided that Oprah Winfrey should be the one that we're going to dedicate this show to today.
Thank you so much, uh, Martin. Um, my name's Khalid, actually Khalid. Uh, then I'm known as also Eternity. Uh, the Eternity name comes from far, but let's keep it short. I'm Eternity. If you want to get in that spiritual moment, that spiritual time, and you want it one-on-one with me, Eternity. Why do I want to dedicate this to one of my influencer? That is Oprah Winfrey. When you look at Oprah Winfrey, her story is not that far from my story. What she passed through when she was young. The difference is I'm passing through it when I'm this age. So it's not that far. The pain she went through, the pain most of us are going through in the camps, you know, and everything that's going on. So when I, when each time we're going through such pain, such moments, I remember there are other powerful people that have also gone through this. We just need time, support, energy. People will love us. Then everything can go on. Like everything can get right. Um, Martin always taught me. He always says something. He always tells me each time we're working together, we're at work doing our things. He always tells me making a mistake is okay. And I've always gone through that. I've always had that thing in my head. If I make a mistake, I know I'm not going to do that mistake again. If I don't make a mistake, I want to know what is right. So I always accept mistakes to come. So at some point, why did I bring that? At some point, I believe that maybe we are moving through a mistake and we are learning so that we don't make mistakes more fast. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I just love everything that I go through and I accept it the way it is. The way I think There are very many influencers that are there that I know, but particularly Oprah Winfrey has a connection of our own. Like this, that connection. The only difference is she never went through the camp. Yeah, but when we look at our problems, what we are going through, and when you get to the camp, there are people who are there, women, children, very many people there going through a lot. So I believe it is not, I know, or I believe this has to go to her and she has to get it. I don't know. Whoever is watching this, just make sure you drop it anywhere so that Oprah can see that even where she is right now, at her age, she wasn't alone. I'm also there. There are people in the camps there. And all this, I'm doing it because I believe when she made it, I think we can also make it. We just need support, love, joy, and the love and joy and everything. We have gotten it right now. Me, I've gotten it. And there are other people that I want so that they can get it. But all that was all from support, love, joy, and people believing in you. Most times people in the camp, they get depressed, they get, their minds stop even thinking because they believe like no one believes in them. No one can listen to them. No one will understand them why they're in the camp. What can a person, what can a refugee tell you? Like they have that saying, what will a refugee tell you? Okay, you're a refugee. You don't have a state. You're just there in the middle. No, because being a refugee, seriously, it isn't the best thing you can ever wish to be. No.
Yeah,
But
I
it's not
know,
true.
Khalid. Yeah, Khalid, I love that, and I'll chime in and tell you, yes, Oprah's story is very similar to yours. Something she's always been an influencer of mine, and that's the reason why I dedicated the first show to her. Is because something you may or may not know is that she and I are the same age. She was born, I believe, in January of 1954, and I was born in September of 1954. And she was born in the Deep South. She was born in Mississippi. A poor Black woman in those days did not have much of a chance of ever being anything really other than a maid or a housekeeper because people kept them in their places down there. And I don't know what she tapped into, but she tapped into that zone of genius. She tapped into the same place, thing that you've tapped into at a very young age, and that's what's brought her into the world today. And as we know, when you're tapped into that zone of genius, when you're tapped into that unconditional loving energy, there's nothing we can't accomplish. And what a wonderful demonstration she is. She's one of the wealthiest, most powerful people on in the world, much less the fact that she is an African American woman. So, and those and they were treated as little girls like the same without any regard for value as the refugee. So yes, there's a really good understanding why you see her, and I do too, as an influencer to help us liberate the refugees into a higher level of consciousness, and then further that by teaching them the skills they need in order that so they can become financially independent and free themselves from because if you can take care of yourselves financially, then you got some financial freedom the way Oprah has, and she uses her influence and she uses her money in Africa for the betterment of African people. So I'm really happy to join you in this decision to make Oprah our influencer of today's episode because we share it, and you're right. There's a reason why we have that. So, Khalid, let me ask you a question. Tell me a little bit about when did you discover that you had this, that you were eternity? When did you realize that there was something inside of you that was much bigger than you thought it was? You thought maybe there was a time, at least for me, when I was just Martin trying to survive and live a life. And then I woke up when I met Abba Henry, our partner. to this deeper truth that I am the universe itself. When did that? Tell us a little bit about your story of discovering eternity.
Um, what I can say is, when I was growing up, I've always been this silent boy. Like, I was good at listening. At least I know that I was good at listening, but less of a talker. That's what I remember. And I grew up till even when I went to the camp, like struggling and everything, because I was this person who would always keep quiet, even when I want something. I wouldn't come out and be like, hey, can you help me with this? No, I always had, it's like I always had scars on my heart and on my chest, because I would cry inside me. Everything would hurt me, pain and all that. But there's this guy called like Abba. I don't know. There's a way he got me. He understood me, and he was like, "I want you from today." This is what he told me. From today, I want you to stop fearing to ask. Ask. Let them refuse, but when you've asked, or let them give you, but when you've asked. I told him, "Nah, there's nothing. I have no problem. I don't have anything. I don't need anything." He told me, "There's something you need. You just don't want to say it." I told him, but what is wrong? What do you want me to say? What do you want me to say? He told me, you need help, and I'm here to help you. You don't want it now, but you will thank me later. I was like, okay, thank you. Thank you for the help, but I don't know which help. I don't know how you're going to start helping me anyways. It was pride, I think. I think I had that pride that I don't want anyone to help me. Let me go through everything, because of the fear that everything that you go through in the camp and the pain and everything, you know. So I felt like if I've struggled to be here like this in this camp, like feeding myself, so even I'm not working, I'm not feeding myself, but I'm alive, I can spend a day, a night, 2, 3, 4 days, nights without having a meal or anything, but I'm still alive, then I can make it. Imagine you going to school having your papers, but they're seated. You're having 2 papers. Imagine 2 papers, but you're seated. You can't be hired because you're a refugee. You can't be, you know, you can't, there are things that you can't do. You feel you're capable of doing them, and you're better than even those people that are there. Because you can look at your skills and you're like, oh no, this is how they do it, not like this. But because you're a refugee, even if you tell them, they'll be like, no, what are you saying? That's what we have in the refugees. That's what they always take us. Now, you're a refugee, what are you going to say? But now, when Abba came in, he introduced me to this smart man, this wise man, Martin Cowart. I remember the first time I talked to him, I was scared. I wasn't talking. Words would just I would just stammer. I think that's how I can say it. Like I would stammer, like say something, then keep quiet, say something, then keep quiet, like that. But with time, me getting used to talking to him and the people that I always stayed with, they were talkative in the house all the time. You can't sit with Abba and you're quiet. You'll always talk. He'll always disturb you. He'll always call you names. And so you'll have to talk, whether you want it or not. So that's how I learned how to talk when Martin introduced me to that spiritual, the meditations that he used to send me so that they could make me relaxed and all that. From nowhere, I would start creating my own. I would just sit down there and like, no, let me listen to the sound. Let me say out what I'm feeling. So I would say it out and it would flow. Yeah, I think that's how I started. And till now, I can do this because I have a group that Martin helped me join. It's called Spiritual something on Facebook. That's where I met the first first gay in Africa, like that first gay man in Africa. Yeah, and he was so okay with me, like with what I do, because there's a time we talked one-on-one on WhatsApp, and he told me to first take him through a meditation. And I took him through it, and he was like, whoa, I love you. I'm going to give you a scholarship to my school in Kenya. I have a school in Kenya. I got a scholarship, though. Yeah, I got a scholarship in Kenya because of him, just because of my meditation. He doesn't know me. He has never seen me. He saw me on like Facebook, met, got connections, and yeah, we started like from there. So I I grew love for it. I sit down, and sometimes I think every day, every single day, I'm meditating. Even when I'm talking right now, I think I'm meditating in my head.
You are
I'm always,
meditating. So I want to
yeah,
ask you this something. I didn't know all that story, but I think what now it's about 16. We're about halfway through the show. I'd like to stop for and give us 10 minutes and let the public, let our audience go through a meditation with you. That's saying because you do have a wonderful power. I mean, obviously, when you met this Aman and he had the influence to get you into a seminary in Kenya, which you've got a scholarship for. That's amazing. And so I want our audience to experience you. So just, I'm going to be quiet. I'm going to allow, I'm actually going to put myself on mute so I don't disturb anyone. And I'm going to set the timer. And I'll let you know, Khaled, when we're about 10 minutes so you can end the meditation. But I'm going to let you have about 10. I'd like you to take about 10 minutes right now and lead me and our listeners through a meditation. Would you do that?
yes, I will. Okay. This is from me to everyone, and whoever will listen to this, just sit back, relax, just feel comfortable wherever you are, because I'm talking about myself the same way you have to talk about yourself. This meditation, it goes to everyone, and this one is mostly to Oprah. I want her to listen to this meditation too. She has to see this. Here we go. I truly love myself. I love myself from everything. I free myself from everything that does not serve me right, serve me well. I let go of relationships that don't serve me well. I forgive people who have hurt me. I accept and acknowledge my emotions. I free myself from regrets. I free myself from regrets. I free myself from guilt and anger. I, I release myself from unnecessary judgments. I let go of things I cannot control. I honor my mistakes, and I am ready to control them. I embrace my flaws and imperfection. I am allowed to make mistakes. We are allowed to make mistakes because we learn from our mistakes. And I am still, and I'm always a winner. So I would love everyone to go through that in your head every day or every time you're there. This will help you. That's how the universe goes. That's how the universe tells us. If you learn to accept yourself, what is yourself? That is you. What are you good at? If you learn to accept your Khaled, if you learn to accept that you're Martin, if you learn to accept that you're Abba, if you learn to accept that you're Paul, if you learn to accept that you're Grandpa, that is you, everything would flow. Deep down inside you, you know yourself better than anyone. That's why I made this meditation talking about myself. And I want you to talk about yourself. Just get the word myself, me, and put there your name so that it flows. Because in life, you need to first trust yourself, believe in yourself, then others will do the same. Thank you so much. You can now come back through the wonderful meditation. You're on mute, sir.
Somebody wants to say hello.
Oh.
You know that guy, right?
Yes. I know him.
I want to ask you a question, Khaled. That was a lovely meditation, and thank you for just giving people a little taste of what you do. And it is something that we're going to Khaled's going to start probably in about a week. He's going to create his own YouTube channel and his own daily meditation show. And I'm going to help him do that. And this is an opportunity for him to kind of try out and see what he's like. As you can see, just gave us a little taste of what he's got, but it just comes naturally out of him. So Khaled's going to be heading that up, and with all of our team at Diamond Mine Academy, they're all of the Africans are just beautiful and have a very unique gift for meditation and leading meditations. And they've certainly taken me deeper. I would say the best way I can describe what they've done for me is they've taken me from the gate, from looking in to the into the inner room, into the inner temple, to actually inviting me in and really pulling me into this deeper space of unconditional love energy that I didn't know existed until I met them. So that's their gift to the universe, really. I think that's the gift to the planet right now, is this ability to open up their hearts and teach meditation in a way that actually brings you into this higher level of consciousness. So that's something that Holly look forward to coming up in the next week or so, because Holly's going to be having his own show on YouTube. He'll have his own YouTube channel and own podcast, and we're just really excited about that. And you can see from a little taste that we got how powerful that can be. Khaled, I want to ask you one more question, because you know that there's a lot of refugees and a lot of people in the camps that are living there that are living really pretty miserable lives. And you know that you even got refugees living on the streets in Nairobi without work. When you don't have the ability to work, it's really impossible. And they certainly don't provide very well for you in the camp. As a refugee, you kind of got to figure out how to make it on your own. What are some things what's some advice that you want to give to your fellow refugees who might still be living in the camp or living on the street, and they're scared and they're alone and they're afraid and they're depressed? What could you say to them that might give them some hope?
About that, what I can tell my fellow refugees is to hang in there and to believe in themselves, that I got your back, like the universe got our back. The universe has our back. It's always, and we have your back. Financial Heart Space has your back. Diamond Mind has your back. Because we're doing all this because of you people. I'm not going to leave you. The fact that I left the camp and this is where I am, I'm not leaving you people. You people are going to join us. Because this struggle is for all of us, not me alone. It's for all of us. We are all fighting for you. That's why Diamond Mind is there. Financial Heart Space is there. And Diamond Mind is fighting so much, and we are fighting so much to see that we get them out, give them jobs, first train them, because we want to build a school of e-commerce, train people how to work online. And yes, after that, that's when the job proposal can come in where we can get people who can hire people to work for them, like virtual assistants, like video editors, sounder, this, things like that. That's what we're trying to do as Diamond Mind. And we having a donation, we are asking for a donation so that each donation you make, it's removing someone from the camp to the town of Nairobi or to Nairobi, so that he or she and the children and their children can have a place to stay, work, and freedom. Actually, we are fighting for financial freedom and freedom itself. You can have financial freedom without freedom. There's a difference. So we want all the freedom for the refugees. Freedom itself and financial freedom, where you can buy anything you want, you can afford anything you want, you can work, you can own anything in your country, in Kenya or wherever you would be. My fellow refugees, stand there, stand with me. I'm with you. I'm never gone. I'm always there with you. And there's one other man that I know who is fighting for you guys so much. I send greetings to Abba so much, Abba Henry. He is the reason for me being here. He's the reason we are fighting for all the refugees. We want you people to be strong. We are coming. We have not left you. The journey that we took, we reached, you sent us, we are now doing it. What you should know, we are doing it. We went through the bus, we came back through a plane. We're coming back to give you the message that you sent us. And we delivered the message. So we're just waiting for the results. And what are the results? Are the people that we are asking for that financial help, like for that, any support that you could give us. That is what I know. Any support can do. We have our pages. They're there. We have subscriptions. They're all there. Any that you feel like doing, you want to subscribe. And when you subscribe, you get coaching from our boss, Martin, coaching. But when you subscribe, that money or that financial help is helping someone get out of the camp, to settle in town, to get that lesson, and everything is involved. So just know each money that you donate is you're helping a life in the camp. Each money that you throw in that donation, it's helping someone. Imagine you're there and you've subscribed and you're getting two things at a go. You shoot two birds with one stone. You're helping a life and you also get a coaching for yourself. Thank you so much.
That's beautiful. Holly, I'll just wrap it up by telling people exactly what we're looking for today. Where we are with the creation of the Diamond Mine Academy mentorship and scholarship program, which is a 3-month program to help refugees and people living and other marginalized Africans to gain the skills they need to get employment on the internet. And so, and what Holly said is not only financial freedom, it's emancipation of the slavery of the mind. It's like spiritual freedom, because when we know we're spirit, we're free from the limitations of the human body, because we're spirit. We have a lot more power when we know we're spirit, and that's where Khaled comes in. So you get both things. You get the learning and the education and the basic skills in order to get the job. How do you use Google Workspace? How do you use the internet? How do you navigate? All those things that you need to know. And at the same time, you're going to be mentoring and working with someone on the American side to learn how to have those deep, loving, connecting relationships with a boss, so you can really make an impact and support that boss to create their vision. So we start with building that relationship first between the employer and the employee, So the employer becomes a better leader, a more empathetic, a more compassionate leader in the world, and a better communicator and more in touch with their own leadership skills. And at the same time, they're teaching and mentoring an African how to add that value. But the real gift is, and you've seen now, is that in the doing of that, the African is going to, like Khaled, is going to open up your heart to that deeper place of truth, and you're going to be able to begin to lead your business and run your business from that place of higher consciousness, from basically infinite intelligence itself. So there's a lot of gift in here, and you get a lot for $97 a month. And we're not really open to the public yet. And what we're specifically looking for right now are 30, we've gotten some already, but we're looking for 30 founding members. And that would be a spiritually aware person. They know that they're spirit. We don't have to wake them up yet. They're already awake to this truth, who want to come in and help us beta test this program before we go public. So we're looking for 30 founding members. If that's you, it's a very unique type of person who's willing to disrupt their world to do something bigger, to create something bigger than themselves, to meet Khaled and be part of our program, to raise awareness. And our bigger mission is to make Africa the most loving and welcoming continent on the planet. Because I know when you scratch below the surface, the heart of the African people is just lovely. And the reality is this. I mean, let's just be honest. Let's don't mix things. This all comes down to years and years and years of giving up power to the original white people who came to their country and colonized things and took over and stole their children. And so it's just really a leftover of the African people who are traumatized by being taken over by people from a foreign land who took them over and taught them all kinds of nonsense about God that's not true, and all kinds of bad stuff. And they took their children. So they're still healing from the scars of that. And that's the purpose of what we're doing here, and what Khaled is doing. We're looking to heal the wounds of all African people who are in pain, that are from the scars and the wounds of colonization. Really, that's really what it is. Centuries of being pushed down, pushed under, to try to be like they are, which are, quite frankly, assholes. They were assholes. I mean, really think about it. They came in, they took your children and put them in the bottom of the boats and took them to other countries and sold them as slaves. I mean, that's pretty traumatizing. So the whole purpose of what we're doing here is trying to heal those wounds so that we can get to the heart of African people. Because for everything that I've seen as I've been there, and what Abba and Khaled are showing me, is that at the heart of the African people is just pure gold, pure love energy. And if we can just scratch through that thin layer of that very thin layer of fear and hate and whatever else is out there, below that is a beautiful, beautiful heart that we want to open up in Africa. So Khaled, I will let you have the last word here. And then we'll close it out, because we're at the half hour. But thank you for being here, brother. And is there anything you'd like to say before we close out the show?
What I want to say is, I'm waiting for you guys. I'm waiting to see you guys. I'm waiting to see people who are willing to get into meditation, who want to discover themselves, their inner person, to discover more things from me. I have a lot for you, fully stocked. I believe I can do that for you. And I can't also wait to see you people donate and change your life in Africa. Anyone.
Yeah, thank you.
If one man can die for 1,000, that is Jesus. What about you dying for, like, each person dying for many, so that we could lift up? Yeah. One man lift up, let us also lift with others. Thank you so much.
And just to be clear, we're not asking you to physically die. We're asking you to Jesus did that historically. He died, so we don't have to. We're asking you to let go of the old fear-driven version of yourself to wake up to the love-driven version of who you are. That's what we're asking. That's what we're inviting you to, is to let go of and surrender and let that old egoic shadow fearful version of yourself that that we all have to embrace something much more powerful, because you're just so much bigger than you think you are. So Khaled, thank you for that very much. And the best way to reach me is Linktree at Martin_Cowart, and reach out to me if you're one of those people that feels called to becoming one of our founding members. I'll be glad to have a conversation to see if you meet what we're looking for. Okay. So thank you so much for listening today. And Khaled, thank you so much for being my guest, my friend, my executive assistant, and my spiritual teacher, all of the things that you bring into my life to make my life richer, more fuller, and more fulfilled. I just am so grateful for you, brother, in every way. And I can't wait to see you with your own podcast and your own show coming up soon. So thank you again, brother, and may love and prosperity prevail. Thank you very much.